This is the all-new 2014 Toyota Highlander coming out the end of January, beginning of February of 2014, and a couple of months later they'll have the hybrid version. This, I think, is the best-looking Highlander to date. They've kind of North Americanized it a bit more. In my opinion, from a distance, especially in the side profile, it looks a lot like the Ford Explorer, and that's one of the major competitors with this vehicle. Styling has been changed dramatically. You get the big trapezoidal grille in the front. Also, it's 1.5 centimeters wider, 7.5 centimeters longer overall, but they dropped the roof line by 3 centimeters to give it a longer, wider, and sleeker appearance, and I think they've done a good job of that. One of the main reasons when customers are shopping for a mid-size 3-row SUV, what do you want? You want space and capacity. So what they've been able to achieve by adding 7.5 centimeters to the overall length of the vehicle is to provide more cargo space behind the third row of seats. There's an additional 100 liters of cargo space with the third row of seats up. Now, the other thing you want to pay attention to is the third row of seats actually has a space for a third person in the middle, which can make it an 8-passenger mid-size crossover. So that really is a people mover now and an alternative to owning a minivan. So we're here in Carmel by the Sea in California for the launch of the all-new 2014. We'll take it for a spin. There's some changes under the hood to the all-wheel drive system as well. Lots going on with the new 2014. There are some significant changes to this new Highlander. First and foremost, the 4-cylinder is gone. The base LE is now a front-wheel drive V6. The V6 is carried forward from the previous model, 3.5-liter V6 with 270 horsepower. So the 4-cylinder's gone. Other changes though, 6-speed automatic transmission has been updated. I'm feeling when I'm driving it, it wants to go up to a higher gear as quickly as possible to help with fuel economy. In addition, a new all-wheel drive system that uses front-wheel drive as often as possible. That really helps reduce the amount of fuel that this bigger vehicle is going to use. So it uses front-wheel drive, but it has the ability to shift up to 50% of the torque to the rear wheels when it detects slippage. In addition, when you're going through corners, it automatically sends 10% of the power to the rear wheels to help drive through the corner. So that's all good. It's more efficient because of new transmission and because it's using more front-wheel drive as often as possible. So that's all good stuff. Now, drivability. This is a family people mover. It's going to be a lot of women who have this as their primary vehicle. The steering is light, great outward visibility, more capability to move people around. So they're doing a lot of things right. And what I don't like is the screen in the center. I'm driving this car now for a day and I noticed that I'm getting a lot of glare on there, but just could because we're enjoying such beautiful weather in California. The official fuel rating for the all-wheel drive model is 11.5 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 8.2 on the highway, which is almost a full liter improvement in combined city highway economy over the 2013 model. Now, Toyota has done something that's quite good. They've kept the starting price the same but added a lot more features, just over $31,000 for the base LE. There's a little bit of a trick here because they have the LE Plus with their convenience package, jumps the price up around $2,700 to get a lot of features that Canadians are going to want to get. So the real price is really about $34,000 if you're going to get it with that package. But all of the Highlanders now come with a backup camera standard equipment. Now, when you get that LE with the optional convenience package, I'll call it LE Plus, you get the power liftgate. So the backup camera and the power liftgate come on pretty much all of them except for the very base model. The interior is nicely fitted. The previous Highlander was riddled with a lot of hard plastic, and there's still some of that here in the center console, but it does look much better. You notice there's a tray in the middle, very reminiscent to the RAV4, the way it sticks out. But this tray here allows you to put your cell phone, and even has a place to put the wire down to plug in your cell phone. Huge cup holders. North Americans, we love our big drinks, super gulp coffee, what have you. Heated seats on many of the models as well. So the front seat has a commanding big view. The back seat, the second row, is really quite big. Now, you might remember on the previous Highlander, it had that seat that hid away underneath the center console. They've gotten rid of that. All but this top limited model have a 3-row bench seat in the second row. As I mentioned, the third row has 3 seats in the back, so you get 8 passengers. When you get this top limited, you get the captain's chairs in the middle, a second row. The center console here, where you have storage, it's huge now because they took away that storage seat underneath. So very functional on the inside, which is what families want in a people mover. As mentioned, the base model, the LE, most people will get the convenience package, which includes 8-way power driver's seat, heated front seats, 3-zone climate control, satellite radio, leather steering wheel, and leather shifter, just to name a few. That brings the price up to $34,480 for the front-wheel drive model and $36,980 for the all-wheel drive model. Toyota believes that the XLE all-wheel drive will be the volume seller, and it starts at $39,900, which is slightly less expensive than last year's model. The top limited model seen here is $45,100. Well, it really has been a pretty spectacular day driving around the canyons and hills outside of Carmel and ending up right here at the beach. Beautiful day and a much better looking Highlander. I really think it looks fantastic, maybe a little bit domestic looking, and that's not a bad thing because there are lots of options out there. The Ford Explorer, the Durango, the Pilot, it goes on and on and on. But the thing that this Highlander has, it has the capability now to take 8 people. 3 rows of seats and 8 passengers makes it an alternative to buying a minivan. I like the fact they've gone with a standard V6 engine. They've added more equipment. They kept the price relatively the same. Actually, on many trim levels, they've added more equipment and dropped the price, which is going to make it attractive. Starting at just over $31,000 and topping up at around $45,000, this is a lot of car for the money. You know what? Great place to pack everybody in and go for a drive down to one of the most beautiful places on earth right here, Carmel by the Sea.